Hello and welcome to Penalty on the Podcaster Overtime, the not so weekly anymore USFL predicting podcast. Sorry about not uploading for a really long time. I recently got back from Atlanta and I've had some stuff going on, but now I can do this episode. This is the championship review for the 2023 USFL Championship. Also, sort of season review, season reflection, and this is the last 2023 Penalty on the Podcaster Overtime episode. This is my last regularly scheduled episode for season 1 of the whole Penalty on the Podcaster collection. I will do the I Just Want to Talk episodes, which are the just talking about things, NFL things I'm interested in. But this is the last regularly scheduled one. And season 2, the first episode of season 2 will be the first episode predicting the NFL's opening week. So in 2 months, I just can't wait. I am football deprived. And also, while in Atlanta, I went to the College Football Hall of Fame. It's great. If you are in Atlanta or like Cobb County, definitely go there. It's incredible. I really recommend it. I had a great time. Anyway, let's get into it. So, the Stallions absolutely beat the Maulers 28-12. I was a field goal away from predicting the Stallions score. So I forgot what I predicted for the Maulers score, but I definitely predicted this outcome. The Stallions were just such a good team. 8-2 versus 4-6. It's just not fair. Stallions, my favorite team, go for a repeat. By the way, they're my favorite team because last season, in the USFL's first season, the Stallions were the only USFL team in a market that's not host an NFL team. Some might say New Jersey Generals, but MetLife Stadium is in New Jersey, so that doesn't really count. Also, a lot of my family lives in Atlanta, which is in the Southeast General region. That's why I was in Atlanta, by the way. So, go Stallions. And I was a fan of them before they won the first championship, and I'm extremely happy now. And the Stallions just did so well. And Deon Cain won MVP. It was kind of a toss-up between Cain and McGough. McGough had a 72% completion percentage, 18 of 25, 243 yards, 9.7 yard average, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a blazing 142.2 passer rating. He did, however, lose a fumble, which I think is what made him lose the MVP. Also, he only completed 1 touchdown to a guy not named Deon Cain. Davion Davis did get a touchdown on a really good play, long play by McGough, but McGough just tore it up. But I think Deon Cain was the deserving MVP. 4 receptions, 70 yards, 17.5 average, long of 47 targets, and 3 touchdowns. One of them was just insane, where he was completely interfered with. And the entire team just did really well. Alex McGough had 9 rushes for 64 yards. CJ Marable had 8 rushes for 48 yards. And Ricky Person Jr. had 6 rushes for 38 yards. No rushing touchdowns. But Alex McGough just did incredible, especially in comparison to Troy Williams, who was 24 of 37, 64.9%, 143 yards, average of 3.9, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 72.2 quarterback rating. And also, he did lose a fumble, and that's what ended the game. He fumbled before, but it was recovered, and by the Maulers. But when Alex McGough lost his fumble, it was returned down the sideline for a touchdown. Hold on. But 12 points doesn't look like they scored a touchdown, does it? And they didn't. Chris Blewett actually did not live up to his name. He only blew it once, and it was a pretty long field goal. This is embarrassing. Secondhand embarrassment here. Because I think they're the first guys ever to actually commit that penalty. Illegal forward handoff. Yeah, that's a thing. So you're not allowed to hand the ball off forward more than once, or when past the line of scrimmage, or when returning a fumble, interception, kick, or punt. And that's just insane that they did that. If he had handed it off back or pitched it back, that would have been a touchdown. But instead, he hands it off forward, and they don't score. And I think they might have gotten 3 on that play, but that was just sad. I think they're the first and only people in the history of all of American football that, by the way, this isn't an exaggeration, to ever commit that penalty. And really got rid of a great touchdown there that could have shifted momentum to the Maulers and had them win, but alas, no. That is not what happened, and that's just really bad. But the Stallions are firing on all cylinders, and they dominated this game through and through, except for the kind of scary McGough fumble. The Stallions were just on top of everything, really. They just did not let up on defense. They rarely had an offensive mistake. And that was just a through and through domination of the Maulers there. And, it's interesting because what I think needs to happen is that the USFL and XFL need to expand fast to increase the competition level, because it's really annoying to me that a 4-6 team that's worse than the worst team in the other division could make the playoffs. Because, I think the Gamblers or, I forget their name, the Showboats were at the bottom of the South Division with 5-5 records, and they didn't make the playoffs, and yet a 4-6 team makes the playoffs. And that's just really, that can't be happening. And, a 4-6 team beat a 9-1 team for the XFL championship, which just cannot be happening. They gotta expand fast to introduce more competition, so only actually good teams make the playoffs. Because the Maulers, they won the North Division championship from the Panthers. Kind of unexpected for me, but then they get thoroughly dominated by a South Division team in the championship. Championships, I think, should be closer than that, right? But it's also funny to me that the 2 teams from the North Division that made the playoffs last year did not make the playoffs this year. It's just interesting. It was a really good season. The officiating was pretty much on point, and the Sky Judge was just so valuable, as well as the automatic spot, the chip in the ball. The NFL needs to get that into their league because, there was a face mask call in the South North Division Championship game that would have gotten rid of a touchdown, but it was overcalled because of official review and the sky judge, and also so many decisions on third and fourth down were made by very quickly and easily with no controversy by the automatic spot. Now, it's just really interesting, but yeah, the Maulers aren't good, and the Stallions won their second championship. I'm really happy for them. Of course, they're my favorite team. But that's pretty much it. Just reviewing one game. And stay tuned because there are some Penalty on the Podcast or I Just Want to Talk episodes coming out, and they're going to be incredible. I have one that's ranking the top 5 set of players for every NFL team. So, for the Chiefs, for example, it would be Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, and Chris. I think Chris Johnson. Chris Jones. I keep forgetting his name, but yeah, Chris Jones and I think L'Jarius Sneed, but I still need to work a bit on that episode. No, not L'Jarius Sneed. Creed Humphrey. But I do need to work on that episode a bit. But that's something coming out, and I'll be ranking every team. I will also do my predicted floor and ceiling for every NFL team, and then where they end up and what their actual record is. So, for example, spoilers for the Rams, I think their floor is 6-11. I think their ceiling is 10-7. I think they will go 9-8, scrape the 7th seed, and then absolutely get their butts kicked in the wild card round. So that episode's going to be coming out, and I'll be going, and the order for that will be just by the standings. So, starting with the NFC, so Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Penalty on the Podcast or Overtime. And I forgot to say that this podcast is not currently sponsored. If you'd like to sponsor this podcast or contact me for whatever reason, my email is in the description. This podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, RSS Community, and Google Podcasts. The links to all those will be in the description. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of Penalty on the Podcast or Overtime. You'll hear more of me next episode.